Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's having a nice weekend so far. And hopefully all of you are enjoying the RGL Next Level Speedrun Showcase After Dark Fall 2019. I'm Infinite Mystery. Today I will be playing a game that's for Switch and Steam called Venture Kid. A lighthearted Mega Man clone. I will be doing Adventure Mode Good Ending. The main difference between the modes, Classic Mode allows you to, Classic Mode you have to play the stages in a set order. Adventure Mode you can pick the stages you want in any order. So with that, I will be starting. 3, 2, 1, go. So since I can pick the stages that I want, I start with the jungle. Since Uncle gives you access to a double jump very early. Now, while you may see very few enemies in the game, you can only take so many hits, and there's not a lot of health drops, even though you just happen to see one. The basic premise of the story is on a distant island far away, while collecting the orbs that you're seeing now, which will be in a variety of colors, which also doubles as your currency for buying items from a shop that Uncle also runs, as he's the inventor of the item that you're using now to get rid of enemies. An evil scientist named Techlove aims to use a huge laser which he claims to preserve peace to destroy the island, and unfortunately it also harms possibly some relation to your character in the process. So it's up to Andy, which is the character I'm playing as now, to stop him. For Good Ending, you're required to collect 8 items, 1 item at each stage. When you enter a different area, a specific different area, you'll hear different music that will possibly lead you to the path of leading towards a specific item. So that was the first item, treasure-wise. Now, some of these extra items that I'm picking up, like the bomb, if I actually press the fire button to use it, I will also get rid of the bomb instantly or any other item I'm using. But since I had to go get the item first, I needed to collect that bomb twice. Now, this particular item doubles the amount of orbs that I'll be able to collect. And usually before every boss, there's a couple of hearts that you can obtain. The gorilla boss is only vulnerable after the rocks fall down and it decides it wants to throw something at you. All the gorilla does is jump around, throw a rock, make couple of rocks come down and throw at you. Not too hard of a boss, unless you're on hard mode. Now, usually after every stage, you'll see a small scene like this where Uncle gives you Not everything is a weapon, but will help you with the stage. But fortunately, due to a patch, we can skip those. So Uncle gives you the double jump, which is the reason why I start with the forest first. I mean the jungle first. This actually being the forest, which would normally be the first stage in the game that you would play if this were classic mode. Now you might be wondering, you only have so many hearts and there's only so many heart drops. Where will you get extra energy from if you don't see any heart drops? Uncle also runs a shop that you can actually access at any time, as long as you have enough orbs to buy items. You can access the shop at any time except for until you enter a boss, except when you enter a boss area. There's also a few small couple of death warps that will, death abuse that will take, only because we'll be placed right near a checkpoint. So now that we have this extra item, we'll just death abuse since it saves a couple of seconds, at least for backtracking. The time stop weapon, just like the bomb, is not all. The bomb is actually a bit more useful than your stop timer. It just freezes everything for a couple of seconds while you can move around. Other than that, continuing with the rest of the forest stage, it's not too bad. Oh, and also in this game, pressing L and R, you have access to a quick swap. The Lynx is a very easy boss. Just jumps around. You'll see a couple of fireballs come out every now and then. Very easy boss. There's also a Mecha version of that same boss we'll see later. Uncle gives you a boomerang for completing this stage. Not particularly useful. For the city, there's a couple of motives, for every different stage you'll see a variety of some different obstacles and enemies. Like you just saw a motorcyclist and a metal type enemy that's hiding in a box. Those flying saucers, we actually can't do anything. There's nothing that can get rid of them except an ice weapon, which we won't get until we get rid of the Pharaoh in the desert, or the rocket, which we obtained from completing this stage. But it's pointless to try to get rid of the flying saucers. For that particular fall, if you were to hold right, you wouldn't be able to make it because you'll instantly fall on spikes. So now, because of this music, we're getting our next treasure, which is the golden NES cartridge. There's no point of backtracking. There's no point of a death abuse here because you'll actually be at the very beginning of that particular long room. I mean that long screen. Now, you saw that extra life that was back there. The only way to get it is to utilize the bomb. But since I will actually be using the bomb for the boss, while it's not the boss weakness, it does help shave off a couple of extra damage very early. Especially helpful on hard mode. You get Uncle gives you the rocket for completing the stage. There's almost really no usage at all for the rocket except for the Grim Reaper that we'll see later on. There's not too much to the desert stage, a couple of snakes, some spear throwers here and there. This is the first instance where getting the double jump early will be useful. In this particular stage, you actually have to utilize that switch in order to, at least I think you have to utilize a switch in order to open up a path, in order to actually get to the item you need. Now, I could actually use the item, I could actually gain extra heart, but since I actually need to use a death abuse here, once I get the item, it saves a lot of time from having to backtrack. So normally without the double jump, I would actually have to go around this stage, but this is where the double jump really ends up being useful. If you were playing classic mode, you would have to go all around the area just to make usage. Just to grab the bomb before you fight the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh doesn't do much except walk around, throw his staff, and eventually you might see a bit of RNG attack where he disappears. Comes out of 4 copies of coffins and only the real one is him. Uncle gives you the ice weapon, which is actually quite useful. Useful, in fact, for the next boss, which ironically is weak to ice. Also, since your weapons have limited ammo, you can either buy a potion from Uncle in the shop, or you might even see a couple of potions out in the open. Now, I might be tempted to actually make my way across some of the lava with trying to do as much damage boosting as possible, but since you only have very few hearts, I want to avoid having to damage boost as much as possible at times, only because the iframes are very short. As you can see the difference between the archers from the other stage and this stage. Now, their arrows are on fire, and the fire sprite will stay there for a moment. Other than that, a lot of the enemies in this game are a lot of the enemies and obstacles are very easy. Honestly, for those who might feel that a Mega Man game might be much harder, this being a light-hearted version of a Mega Man clone, you might this game you might feel a bit easier than normal. this game could also serve as a good way of a person to get possibly used to a Mega Man style platformer, even if it is easier than normal. Now you might be wondering, we haven't seen the treasure for the stage yet, and it was hidden near the boss. Now we have the Phoenix. The Phoenix does nothing but move from side to side and spews a couple of fireballs. Eventually, the Phoenix could decide to go in the lava RNG wise and rain down a couple of fireballs as well. You get a flame weapon from the Phoenix. Map. Return the map. Since we already did the jungle, the ice mine is next. Some of the same bats you've seen in some of the other stages. A few new enemies to deal with here. You actually want to attack those enemies with a torch at a distance, because those actually can one hit kill you. And of course, anything, if you're on your last hit, or spikes in general, is a one hit kill. But you can buy an emergency kit from Uncle, which we will now. So just in case you take a last hit, or if you run onto spikes or something, instead of a fatal hit, your emergency energy will kick in. This is the area where the item is. I haven't actually tested whether or not it's worthwhile trying to death abuse, because the area where it sends you back to is further along than just walking back a couple of screens. Always helps to have the safety for the double jump. So even if I didn't have a potion, I have more than enough orbs currency-wise to buy one from Uncle. If I didn't get any weapon drops. You're more likely to get a weapon energy drop than you will a kind of any type of a heart drop. And the main difference between the difficulties is how many hearts you start out with. From easy to hard, from 5 to 3. The mines here just throw their projectiles at you while hoping you don't actually notice the spikes, while hoping that you bump into them. The flame weapon actually has considerable distance, but you might run out depending on the difficulty you're on. So once your flame runs out, the only other weapon that can reach him is your regular weapon. Uncle gives you probably the most useful item, which is the spike guard boots, which will definitely be used in this factory stage. Also, some other weapons will probably now be getting used as well. You can freeze those. You can freeze those particular enemies. Also, to note, the factory is kind of a small maze of sorts. So if you go in some particular areas, you'll find yourself backtracking all the way back to the beginning. Now the thing with the spike boots, it doesn't protect you from hits from a spike above, but you'll only use one small usage of it as long as you hit a spike, but you don't actually keep jumping up and down. See? It won't your energy for the spike will not drain until you land on another spike, which makes the item extremely useful. Now you see I needed that bomb earlier to open up the pathway for B1, which was here. Buy an emergency kit and an extra heart, just in case. See, now we can't get this particular treasure until we open up another switch slightly further to the right. Having the spike boots is you don't actually need them, but it helps just in case a bad jump happens. We can skip dealing with that particular enemy. Now those weird robot enemies have only one of 3 attacks, which can actually be shown in the chest area before the attack actually comes out. It'll either be nothing, some weird spread spike attack, or some other, or some kind of a bomb. But you don't actually have to deal with them. See, that's a pathway which will actually take you back to the very beginning if you were to go left. Same thing also with these spike crushers. They're fatal if you don't have an emergency kit. Fortunately, before every boss you'll actually gain access to, the game will actually give you a couple of hearts. Here we have a bulldozer, a man-operated bulldozer, which drops a couple of mines, some bombs, and some robots. The bulldozer actually doesn't have any natural weaknesses, so you just use your regular weapon. The bulldozer is probably only a major threat if you're extremely low on health, or especially hard mode. Uncle gives you the last of the major weapons, which is just a shield. Oops. That was a bad jump. Let's try that again. So now with the castle area, you have these skeletons who basically don't do anything. They're just walking around back and forth dancing. And these blocks that once you land on them, they'll crumble away instantly. There's not too much to say about this particular area. But we do have Sword Knight. who wants to get in our way, and his cousin Laser Knight, which you'll see in the Space Fortress. So this will be the second to the last usage you'll see of the stopwatch. So this is leading to the last of the 8 items we need. The main reason we need these particular 8 items is to reach the game's true ending, which is the 3rd Space Fortress stage that you can't access without it. Goodbye, Sword Knight. Here we have some Castlevania floating skeletons. You can't do anything about them, maybe except put them on ice. It's a good thing with these particular obstacles, you can just jump through you don't have to avoid it entirely. So now we'll see the most major usage for the rocket, the Grim Reaper, who apparently hates life. This is the only cutscene we can't skip. We're basically just being told that now Tech Glove is making his Space Fortress, is attacking the city. So now Andy has to go into the Space Fortress to stop him via another one of Uncle's inventions, a space shuttle. All he gives you is an extra life. So now we have this very slow item 2. That we actually must utilize to reach the next portion of the stage, while dodging a couple of the flying saucers and collecting a few orbs, which we'll need. You don't want to miss even as slow as it is, you don't actually want to miss the ride, because there's no way for you to get across any of those platforms. And we have a small Metroid which likes it in space. Oh, and here's a shield, there's the laser. Now, the thing about these blocks, they'll instantly start moving, going towards their destination, but they'll also move faster too. Buy an emergency kit just in case. Now the game gives you 2 areas you can go in. Each one leads toward the same destination. Yes, there are quick command beams. And an area which might remind people of Mega Man X5. That's probably the worst screen in the game, or one of them anyway. were to have taken the first path, you would have come from the left side. And here's the Mecha Link. Basically the same attacks. There is one fireball projectile that goes to the sky like that. And the Mecha Link is weak to flame, but it's incredibly hard to use it. Now for Space Fortress 2. Quite a bit more lasers here. I will definitely be utilizing a number of items here. The newest threat is now those orange spheres. You can see the skull icon, instant death. This is where I'll definitely utilize the emergency kit, because if you're caught in any of those fights, that's instant death. Moved forward an inch forward just a second too soon. Unfortunately, that stop clock I can only utilize for a couple of seconds. It's a good thing I had plenty of orbs. The stage tries to look a bit intimidating, but it's not too bad. You get a couple of potions, some orbs, and you get a potion, a couple of orbs, and some hearts. This is Tech Gloves. First attack, very useless robot. Very useless. It just jumps over you when you're in the center. Throws a detachable fist, which it hasn't done yet. Weak spot is the exposed head. Very useless. Now the second form of Tech Glove, he decides to get serious. It's quite hard to actually dodge the majority of his attacks. But fortunately, he was actually very nice and only decided to use his projectiles. Because normally he can do other things. He can do an uppercut. Now this is where if you didn't gain all 8 objects, you can't. This cutscene will just stop at whichever one of these strong lasers type shields that you can't bypass. So now with that, we go on to the very last stage of the game. You're riding on item 2. You have to fight Tech Glove in his spacecraft 3 times. You'll have basically nothing but you basically have nothing but maybe 1 or 2 hearts along the way. The only way you can hit him is your regular weapon. You can use the shield to reflect some shots back at him. The only major thing is if you die on this stage, you have to start the entire Space Fortress 3 say I'm taking it slow just because I really don't want to utilize the shield until the third one of Petrol. Now this is where I really want to make sure I accidentally don't hit any specific area that might be a spike. Anything that you can't see is most likely a spike. So you'll definitely want to wait for the screen to rise first. But you only have a very short couple of seconds to activate. I mean to actually jump somewhere. This particular form is no worse than the first form. Just a couple of try shots. Now since this will be the last time I'll be able to use the item shop, you might be tempted to go for some of the hearts, but it's too risky. So if you have any orbs, just use them now. Now for the last form, now, let's see, now is where I'll probably use the shield for the triple shot. And time will come up shortly. And that's time. I hope everybody enjoys. Sorry about the sirens. Other than that, that's Venture Kid. I hope everybody enjoyed Venture Kid as much as I did. Stay tuned for Portal on the Commodore 64 with Bald Nate. Everybody enjoy the rest of the RGL Next Level Showcase, Speedrun Showcase After Dark, Fall 2019, and everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend.